Yeah, I totally stole that title from the Stephen King book. This video's been a long time in the making. Yeah, a year, 14 months actually. And I had planned to do some really kind of fun editing, quick shots, lots of visual aids and things like that, but I don't have time for it. But I do want to talk about this because I've promised people that I would talk about it, and it's very important to me. Question number one, why? Why did I do it? Why? What prompted it? Two, how did I go about doing it? And three, what were the obstacles? Were there obstacles? Yes, clearly there are obstacles. Let's start at the beginning. The beginning was like around last January, February. The beginning was in my childhood. Let's be honest. I am what's called, and there are so many of you out there, I'm a compulsive overeater. I've been a compulsive overeater since I was a child, and I still am. And so regardless of what I'm doing with my life, I have an issue with eating. I have a bizarre relationship with eating. Lots of us do, right? I had slowly been building up to a massive weight. It's not, you know what? And it's related to lots of different things. It's related to the fact that I eat when I cope with things that are stressful. I was in a bad place. I was really struggling to keep a career afloat because I had had my adult series collapse, and then I was really trying this new thing with Velveteen and getting going on that. And it was stressful. I was stress eating. Yes. Yeah. Are you with me? I think we all know what that's about. As I was ballooning, and which I have a tendency to do on and off throughout my life anyway, as I was ballooning, I'm also hitting my 40s, those heart attack years. My blood pressure was going through the roof, and so I ended up starting to take a lot of blood pressure medication through my doctor, and it was not good. I was taking a lot. I was taking more than my parents take. It was not good. And so I decided, that's it. I got on the scale. I weighed 293 pounds. I was 7 pounds away from 300 pounds. The heaviest I'd ever been in my entire life. So that's the why. No big surprise there, right? So how? How did we go about doing it? We did a little research. My wife and I decided we were going to do this together, and my friend Kevin was involved, and we took this picture, and it's god-awful. That was me at my heaviest. And my wife at her heaviest. She's also lost quite a bit of weight. She's like down like 65 pounds, something like that. She's super skinny at this point. What we did was we got on board with a website called Lose It, and that was basically a food logging program. They also have an app for iPhones, and we use that. That's pretty much a way to log all of your food intake, all of your exercise and everything per day. You put in like how much you weigh, how much you want to weigh, what your BMI is, all this other stuff. And it determines how quickly you can lose the weight and how you're going to go about doing it, how much calories you're allotted per the day. And it sounds so difficult. You're like, oh God, I don't want to have to count calories for the rest of my life. Well, you know what? That's a rationalization. You do what you have to do to lose the weight and for me, to get off the blood pressure medication, which I'm no longer on, by the way. It's completely under control just because my weight is gone. One of the big things, which is very difficult, I think, for dieters and to maintain a diet over a long period of time, is if you start to deny yourself certain things like ice cream or desserts or potato chips or some of those things, then you really do set yourself up for failure. And so we decided we were not going to do that at all. We were going to limit ourselves to the calories, for sure. We were going to exercise on a semi-daily basis, and we would just eat pretty much whatever we wanted, making sure that we made time for like the healthy stuff first, and if there were calories left over, then we could splurge a little bit on the other stuff. Now, I'm not saying that I have a lot of extra calories by the end of the day to splurge on potato chips and stuff, because my thing is salt. I'm a huge salt fiend. So where everyone has a sweet tooth, I have more of a salt tooth. I will lick the wall of a salt mine in a second, and I have, frankly. So it was really more about learning exactly what a portion size was. I mean, you're used to like a bowl of cereal like that, when the actual portion size is more like 3/4 of a cup. So it's more like this. It's just a very small portion. The first few weeks of the diet were excruciating. They were really bad, but it's like your stomach gets like completely out of proportion because of like certain Like restaurants determine what a portion size is, and fast food chains and things like that. And the portion sizes are much smaller. We have a friend, my friend Kevin, who's in that picture, um, who makes jokes about not liking to go to restaurants that have like big plates and small food, like the French restaurants and things like that. The problem is that those are real portions. They're the actual portions. And so it's like we have to get used to that kind of thing again. And it's like a trick, a mind trick to do that. Over time, we got used to the portion size and we stuck to the diet. And the initial weight losses were big. I mean, I think I lost 10 pounds in a week at one point. And it was like, wow, that's like Biggest Loser kind of stuff. We were excited about it. There are definitely times where it is not. We're not awesome weigh-in weeks. But you know what? You just keep going through it. So were there obstacles? There are always obstacles. And one of my big things is that we can be really good on the diet and making healthy choices and choosing complex carbohydrates over like whites and rice and white potatoes and things like that. Although I do eat those things too, just in smaller portions. During the week, it's much easier to do that because it's just me and Caroline and we can make those good choices and support each other. But when it comes to the weekends, we start to interact a lot more with other people and we go out to restaurants and anytime I go to a restaurant, I know that I have to push back my weigh-in because restaurant food is very sodium laden and you may not even taste it immediately, but it's so sodium laden that that salt goes straight to your fat cells and makes them expand. So the next time you get on the scale, and I'll use this last couple of weeks as an example because it was my wife's birthday and so we had more time out in restaurants. I went into that weekend at 217 pounds, and the following Sunday, I weighed in just to kind of prove to myself how bad it was, and I was at 228, 11 pounds up in 4 days. And then, just yesterday I weighed in, and I'm at 217 again. So it's like we went this whole cycle of the whole week, and the restaurant salt feeding absolutely just kind of made it look like I had blown my diet, when in fact it's just all this water weight that comes on. And water weight is really damaging to your self-esteem when you're trying to be, focused on diet. Other obstacle, obviously, is people. I think that the minute you start to look like possibly a weight you should look, people want you to stop dieting. They want to jump on the idea that it's possibly an eating disorder at this point. And my assertion is that it's always been an eating disorder. It's been an eating disorder that was bred into me since I was a child. And what's going on right now is I'm trying to get a handle on it. And I am. At this point, I'm doing a lot better. I'm eating what I want some days. I'm exercising more on other days, just to kind of, even it all out and try to be much more healthy. I think that's the ultimate goal here, is just to be healthy, live longer, and not have to use a car-sized shipping crate to be buried in. So my goal is 193, and I plan to get there sometime this summer or early fall. I'm not a stickler on the date of it. I just know that it's going to happen, and that's going to be that. Now, what do I do once I get to that 193? I don't know. I'll probably go back and forth in there. It's just how you do. I go back and forth in my weight now. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, really? Eating's a weird thing. I guess when I look at this in the future and sort of project out what this can be like, I know that I need to do things that are self-soothing, that are not food-related. I've wrapped up a lot of my emotional stuff in eating, and that's how I placate, and that's how I soothe. And so I'm looking for other things. I'm looking for other avenues for those kind of cushions. And so I'll find them. That's in my goals. So yeah, that's it. I know there are a lot of people here on YouTube even that are struggling with weight loss and struggling with their weight and struggling with these issues of eating. Feel free to talk about it in the comments. I'll respond. I do that. Good luck.